What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to do my half-year kind of State of the Union address, discuss the channel, discuss what I've been happy with, what I've not been happy with, and talk about, I guess, the second half of the year and just the long-term future. I like to try to do these every so often just to get reception. I do want to say this rather early in the video. I value your guys' opinions a ton. You guys are the core of the channel, specifically, really, the ones that are watching this, right? I have you guys, I assume, for pretty much any of these videos, so very much want to hear what you have to say with, what you've seen from the channel, what you want to see from the channel. Leave it in the comments. Of course, try to hear me out what I'm going to say, as the video goes on, but let me know in the comments just real fast what you want to see changed, what you want to see improved, things like that. So this channel has actually done extremely well. I'm recording this rather early because this July period, or as we get into July, the first 10 or so days, I'm going to be pretty much gone. I'm still going to do daily videos on this channel. I'm trying to get videos done early so that I don't have to do too much of it when I'm visiting my family, because I just never stop doing these videos. So I'm doing this early. I mean, where I'm at in my current timeline in the multiverse, the channel's done really, really well. The last couple months, last 2 months, have done extremely, extremely well. Probably not necessarily for subscribers, more like for views, which, look, at the end of the day, as YouTube continues to evolve, as different things come up, Rumble and all that stuff, and really YouTube continues to kill this themselves, right? The idea of YouTube subscribers just matters less and less and less. If you want to subscribe, you subscribe. If you don't, you don't. It doesn't really help you all that much in terms of seeing a video come from that creator. So I, of course, want people to subscribe, but I was very into subscriber numbers a few years ago. I'm definitely not now, at least for this channel specifically. I don't really care what subscriber number we're at, but the views, the amount of traction that each video gets every day has been extremely, extremely good. We do the podcast also every week with Sway, and that's been doing, at least at the time I'm recording this, it's been doing really, really well. The last 3 or 4 episodes have been some of the biggest episodes we've ever done. And then again, the day-to-day videos have done really well. This channel tends to struggle when there's a lack of news, and that's nothing new considering the main channel is kind of like that as well. This is something I'm going to say in the update video that I'll also do for the main channel, but it applies here too. I gotta reach into my soul, and I gotta get a little bit better at what I used to do back in the day. Back in the day when I wasn't really a news channel, right? I would talk about the news here and there, but really it was just whatever I was interested in. I would pitch game ideas. I would talk about sequels. I would talk about all these things. I really didn't follow news all that much. And I'm not talking I did that 8 years ago. Up until maybe 3 or 2 years ago, I was still doing that. I would make those kind of videos. And I don't think I can only make those videos anymore like I did, but I think I can sprinkle those type of videos in now. And the reason I bring that up, and again, these are questions to you guys. These are asks of, what you want to see. The days that there is very, very little news or no news, obviously that is the day, or those are the days that this channel struggles, right? Because I give this one story and I give Podcast Now the rest. And one thing I think I've done better at is making kind of more clickable titles and thumbnails. I don't consider myself clickbait. I see a lot of garbage clickbait on the internet. I think I'm trying to play that game where it's got to be catchy. So many people have made their titles very catchy and right on the line of clickbait. I'm trying to move more into that direction because although I'm only, well, at the time you guys see this, I'm only 27. I just turned 27. I'm not that old, but I feel like I'm 80 years old in the YouTube space because I refuse to kind of change, right? I refuse to adapt. But one thing I have adapted, and I don't know if it's necessarily worked, but it's something I'm going to stick to, is if you remember last time we talked, this at least, I had said, okay, for a Podcast Now, it's done with movies. The only movies I'm going to cover on Podcast Now are Scream, and if Pirates of the Caribbean ever comes back. Everything else will be here. I'm still going to do that. Nothing's changed there. The volume of movies on this channel just kind of depends, right? Sometimes I've made ranting Star Wars videos here, and it's done really, really well. Oftentimes, if I'm reviewing a movie here, it does pretty bad, like Guardians, I think John Wick. By the time this video goes up, I probably did Across the Spider-Verse. most of the movie reviews here get like 150 views, which is not great. I mean, maybe we could just say it. Like, it's not great even for this channel. It's not what I would kind of want to do. Again, I think the general idea of making this channel the extra, literally Podcast Now Plus, right? This channel is the extra stuff, the stuff that I probably would put on the main channel in a different timeline, different universe, but instead I've chosen to not do that. It still is that, and that's what I want it to be, even though it never started like that, right? But beyond that, I've toyed with the idea of like a morning show. I know I've talked to you guys about that in the past. I mean, again, these are things I want you to let me know. As I've said before, and I still stand by this, eventually what I would like to do is have one of the channels, whether it's this channel or the main channel, I would like to do like a daily show, like a live stream. And I tested that once on the main channel with Nightly Nerd. We did like a morning news live stream. Did pretty darn good. But I don't know if, I'd be willing to do that. Also because my daughter and just school and stuff. I think as she gets older, like maybe give her another 2, 3, 4 years, I think that could become a very likely possibility that we could do daily shows. Just right now, I don't think it's possible. But I like where this channel is at. I like that this channel is that extra stuff. I've tried some gaming live streams here. I'll continue to throw those in every now and then. Again, the podcast with Sway, we really both like doing, we make money. Actually, we make almost next to nothing on it. So we kind of just do it for fun. We know there's kind of like a dedicated small group that will watch it, that wants to hear us talk for like an hour. So I'm liking where this channel is, to be honest with you. And again, the last couple months have been really, really good as compared to maybe even like a couple months before that. It was almost like the lowest this channel has ever been. Again, that's on me. That's on me. That's for me to work through and figure out when there's not a news story, even though, again, like the news stories sometimes that this channel gets, they're not the biggest and they still do really well, which I really appreciate. And I think the algorithm is like understanding that about this channel. I think doing one video a day definitely helps instead of 3. I think less is kind of more in the case of this channel. But again, when there's not a lot of stuff, it tends to kind of suffer. And then, weekends, Saturday, Sunday, I don't record videos for the most part. Sometimes I do, very rarely, but I don't record on the weekend. So like those are done on like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like that range. So like those tend to be kind of like whatever already. And then if the week is dead, then I have to make like 6, 7 videos of like, I just have to come up with something that's not kind of news related. But again, I used to do that. That used to be all I did. So that's either laziness or I've lost some sort of talent in myself. So now, honestly, I got to get back to that. I'm going to try. And honestly, I think July is a really good testing ground because, look, for the most part, every July, except for maybe July 2020, because that was like Ghost of Tsushima and all that, every July is normally dead. And this month has a couple games. They're mainly at the end of the month. Again, like the first 2-ish weeks, I'm normally busy, at my parents, visiting family and stuff. So this is a good test in July for there's probably going to be several days where there's either no news story or maybe like one, and then that would be on Podcast Now. So then like this channel would get nothing. So I'm going to have to like figure out different stuff, but maybe that's where it comes. Like we could do a live stream series. Like I've been considering that. Maybe we live stream a game for a week or, something like that. In the summertime, like in July, when my daughter's off of school, it's easier, for the most part. Again, when I'm around, which July is a little bit harder in that regard. So honestly, let me know what you think. Again, a lot of different things kind of pitched without any like rhyme or reason of where I'm going. I mean, what you've seen over the course of, say, the last 3 or so months on the channel, I'm happy with, I'm proud of. I want to do more of that stuff. Again, like the movie and show-based stuff. So like when Twisted Metal starts coming out, that would be reviewed every week on this channel. Eventually, when like the Halo Season 2 show comes out, I'd review that. So I think this channel has some stuff. Obviously, like when the news is heavy in the fall, like August through December, this channel will be more than fine, you know what I mean? But just let me know what you think. Live streaming, like a morning show kind of thing, the podcast, anything you kind of want added or changed, let me know. I got some ideas in my head, but generally I like the branching out or the separating that I did of the channels. Really, I would say around New Year, right? That was kind of like my New Year's resolution. My main thing was to really separate them where what Podcast Now is. You now know that pretty much anything that doesn't fall in that would be on Podcast Now Plus. and also like just news stories. And then if you're wondering like any game from the like any essay video or talking about like an older game, well, that's what Back to the Past, right? That's what that third channel is for. And so I like how I've done that, and now we just have to make improvements from there. So let me know what you think. Make sure if you're already watching this, you're already subscribed, I assume. But if you're not, hit the subscribe button, bell icon, and all that jazz. I hope to see you all on the next one.